Apologies that we are literally on the last day of Conquest and I'm just getting this video out. I do apologize. I have been super busy and I recorded it all 2 days ago and it all got corrupted. So we're going to break down the final sector. Let's do this, baby. Sector 5 then. Ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, what do we need to do? We need to inflict Mark 25 times. Not a problem. We can do that in one battle. Order 66 10 times. We can actually do this in one battle. I haven't done it because I've already red boxed, I don't need to. We also need to win 14 battles with a full squad of Empire units, which is super easy because Empire is a fantastic faction. And then we need to attempt to inflict Evasion down 60 times. All of these are very possible to do in one short battle. So let's break it down. We are going to start off with the marked cheese, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going up here against a Galactic Republic node, in particular a Padme node, because this reflects damage back at us. Now, using General Grievous and droids, you can abuse his mark mechanic. What GG does with his leadership, or it's not even his leadership, it's his unique, is when he falls below 100% health, then he is going to apply marked to the healthiest droid ally that's a separatist, right? So in this instance, all we're looking to do is get an AoE off with GG, and that's going to drop him below 100% health, which is great and everything because he's going to mark a unit. But what's interesting about the way this mechanic works is it applies at the start of every individual turn that happens, which means every single person that takes a turn while GG is below max health, like he's about to be now, is going to apply mark to the healthiest ally. So watch, he's dropped below 100% health and we've got marked over here on our Magna Guard. Now check out the start of everybody's turn. I'll see if I can catch it now. Look, see this? Marked, because it's the start of B2's turn, right? Okay, it's very much advised taking B2 in this because he can take bonus turns, which is more turns to apply marked, right? And then once again, booyah, we've got Wat Tambor's turn and we've got another marked. And then we'll wait, we'll go to the next turn, so we'll apply tank tech over here, and then boom, it's B1's turn. And what's this? Oh yes, that's right, it's marked. And then we'll take another turn, we'll just heal up that Magna Guard, and they're going to counterattack, and here, boom, we've got marked over here on B2, because now he is the healthiest ally. And this can happen very quickly. All you need essentially is GG below 100% health and 25 individual turns to have taken part. If you use Wat Tambor in here, you can of course use his first special and that will revive any defeated allies apart from B1 because B1 can't be revived. But this is a really easy way of getting 25 marks in one battle. It takes no time whatsoever. Obviously, the longer you survive, the better off you'll be. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Now, it doesn't have to be against a Padme node. You can take it off against, I believe there are some gas nodes and some 501st nodes that also have that damage reflection. So long as you can drag out the battle just a little bit, so go for some survivability on your team, and you'll be absolutely fine. Alternatively, you can go against a weaker team and just have your GG drop below 100% health. It's as simple as that. Evasion down is our next one, and I'm going up here against a Newt Gunray node with Droideka. What you want to make sure you do is take in Old Ben. Old Ben applies Evasion down on his basic. You can see him applying it there. Now you only need to attempt to inflict this. You don't actually have to land it, just like all of these debuffs. So all I recommend you do is go into any sort of team that you can drag out the battle, like this Droideka, because he's got damage immunity, for example. We also have GBA that can summon a recurring unit after you defeat it. This one you can help drag out, and just with JML in particular, if you've got Voluntary Vanguard or if you just go in Wat Tambor, place that tank tech on him, constantly call in Old Ben to assist using Inherited Teachings or any sort of call to assist. Now you don't have to do it with JML. I did it with JML because I have JML. Another really good way of getting this done is by using CLS. For example, we can go into the same sort of node, we just need to try and make sure that that Droideka gets into damage immunity, and then we're going to do our usual finangly bit. So I'm just going to flip this on back and reverse it. Going to get rid of all of the enemy teams. Droideka over there is now in damage immunity, so I'm just going to basic him to get that tenacity down, and then I'm going to strip back some turn meter, hopefully. Wonderful. Okay, next up, what am I going to do? I'm just going to start passing. Oh, I tried to pass a buff to a person with buff immunity. Woe is me. Let's see. If we can get the stun over here, all that works as well. And then I'm going to try and strip back the turn meter over here on that Droideka. Okay, good. What are we looking at doing here? I might just try and stun that Droideka. Great. And I'm going to basic him to try and remove turn meter. Unfortunately, it did not work. I'm just going to basic here with Old Ben. Now, we really do need to get back round to that Droideka before he takes another turn. Because if we do not, it's going to be bad news bears for us. Okay. So I'm just going to basic over here, remove some of that turn meter. Make sure you do not use that AoE with Chewbacca, because that can result in very bad business indeed. Just going to basic over here, get that resist. Going to basic over here. C-3PO is going to remove some turn meter. Wonderful. Basic over here to remove the turn meter. Let's just try and get some additional turn meter removal. Wonderful. I'm then going to... Do I dare? We do need to get rid of GG pretty quickly, because otherwise he's going to cause us untold issues, right? Untold issues. Okay, great. So at this point, what we can do is place this on auto basic, right? So as long as you've got that tenacity down on Droideka, if you've got C-3PO, you've got Chewie, and you've got Old Ben, he should never take a turn again after this, because we are stripping that turn meter back all the time. And every time Old Ben does that basic, he's going to attempt to inflict that evasion down, and that's going to give us the feat. Look, we've got 3 whole minutes for this to go, and Droideka's never going to take a turn ever again. Now, if you've got anything like booming voice, that will help, because whenever CLS takes a turn, he's going to mass assist with his team, which is more attacks with Ben. If you could somehow do this, you know, without having to use Chewbacca, that would be amazing. Or if you could take it against a crew node, for example, that would also be amazing, because you could probably put it on full auto that way. And with full auto, you'll get more mass assists, you'll get translation from C-3PO. That should help a little bit. Overall, I still think that this is a perfectly acceptable way of getting that evasion down 60 times, and it should only take the one battle. All, of course, depends on how quickly you can get the setup over to just Droideka, but once you're here, it's done and dusted, baby. It's done and dusted. Alrighty, so if you are looking to get 10 issues of Order 66 in one battle, I do recommend going up against the boss node in Sector 5. This one seems to be the easiest, most reliable place to take it. Also, if you are going to do this, I do recommend you use some consumables, mainly around gaining max health, max protection, that sort of thing. You want to make sure you can survive here. It's not about damage output. It's about longevity, all right? It's not about the girth. It's about how long you can last, yeah? Or something like that. Basically, what we're going to try and do is we're just going to try and bounce between Hondo and Nest the entire battle. You can defeat the ads as quickly as possible. The rest of it is all survivable. With that in mind, you do not want to be using any data discs that ramp your offense. So I'm using 1 Amplify Agony, a heal over time, Voluntary Vanguard, Quickening, Cleanse, because why not dispel our debuffs, another Quickening, Savior just in case to keep us alive, and another Quickening. Anything that's going to keep you alive is a good thing here, okay? Make sure the enemy takes their turns as well, that's vitally important. The team that we are using is Treya here, Wat Tambor, Thrawn, Malak, and CX2. CX2 is the guy that's going to be applying Order 66. Do note, Scorch's Order 66 does not count in Conquest, because it applies on the enemy's turn, not your own, which means you are technically not inflicting that debuff. It doesn't count. That may get patched in the future. I'll try to update the description down below if it has been fixed, because Scorch would be the easiest way of getting this done otherwise. Now, CX2, it's still a little bit bugged in my experience, right? Essentially, if he ever uses the same ability, or whenever CX2 uses an ability against the same targeted enemy 3 times in a row, inflict Order 66 on that enemy for 2 turns. What I have found is if you put it on any kind of auto, this fails to work. It just seems to stop doing it. Particularly auto basic seems to break it, so you do kind of have to manually play it. Otherwise, it just stops applying after some time, and I have no idea why. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be bouncing between the enemies and defeating them, essentially. Treya is going to put Isolate on, Thrawn is going to Fracture, Wat Tambor is there to put Weapons Tech on CX2 to have him take more turns, Malak is there to taunt. So let's check out the footage, and I'm going to speed this up. And away we go. I first off start by placing the weapons tech on CX2. If dash doesn't open up with the AoE, it's even better, okay? Next up, I'm going to focus on Vandor Chewbacca, and we want to make sure that we're doing every single hit with CX2 on the same character each time, all right? Isolate Nest and decrease cooldowns on Thrawn every single time, and I'm placing the recovery tech on Malak. There's 1 Order 66, and then we just get rid of Vandor Chewbacca. Make sure when you've got Order 66 on one of these characters at the start, I started off with Vandor, he's got Order 66. I'm not going to try and reapply it to him. So use your next set of attacks against a new target. I went after Smee over here, or SM33. After that, you take out Vandor Chewbacca so you don't have to worry about him doing anything. Next up, you want to focus once again, every time, 3 attacks on one of those characters with CX2. So we are going for Smee at the moment, or SM33. We like to use Thrawn's second special to pass turns back to CX2 so he can just ramp through those turns as quickly as possible, getting that Order 66. That's the second instance. Now when I go through an attack with CX2, we're going to go for someone completely different. So I'm going for Dash in this instance, leaving Hondo and Nest until last. That's 1 attack there. We need another 2 attacks on Dash with CX2. That's 2 attacks there. And then I'm going to fracture Nest. So she's fractured and she's isolated. SM33 has now lost Order 66. It lasts for 2 turns, but we haven't applied it to Dash yet. So I'm going to get that last hit on Dash. There's Order 66. We can defeat him now without too many issues. That attack there I should have really done on Smee. That last attack there, I decided to take out Dash. Should have put that in SM33, but that's 3 instances of Order 66. Going back in against Smee now, going to try and get additional ones. I accidentally isolated Smee, should have left that on Nest. That's 4 instances of Order 66, and we're bouncing over to Nest now, swapping that damage over because we know we're going to beat Smee soon. So 1 hit on Nest there, 4 instances of Order 66. Going to go ahead and fracture Nest. I like to keep her fractured and isolated because that just stops her from counterattacking, doing all that sort of nonsense. We've taken out Smee, and this is where the rest of the game really goes, okay? We've got 4 instances of Order 66, and we're going to be bouncing between 5 instances. Once we've got it on Nest, we swap the damage over to Hondo, keep him controlled, and basically we want to let the enemy heal up. So 6 instances of Order 66, and now we can bounce back over to Nest. Now, she did nearly defeat my CX2, and that can be a real issue. This is why we like to control her, hopefully keep our CX2 stealthed. Alright, so we've had 6 instances so far. I don't know why I fractured Hondo. Maybe I wanted Nest to take a turn, I'm not sure. But Nest has now lost Order 66, so we're going to keep on bouncing turns back over to CX2. That's 7 instances of Order 66, isolate on Nest, fracture Nest, and we're going to move the damage over to Hondo now. So back over to Hondo, focusing exclusively on Hondo with CX2 until he has taken enough turns. I didn't swap there because he hadn't lost Order 66. Now that he's lost Order 66, boom, reapplied 7 instances of Order 66, and we're just bouncing back and forth once again. I'm swapping the target back over to Nest. Honestly, you could probably just focus exclusively on Hondo because he does gain a lot of turn meter, so he's able to cycle through Order 66 very quickly. Because if they still have Order 66, you cannot reapply it. It doesn't get reapplied. It's a locked debuff, so you have to wait until it drops off after 2 turns and then reapply it. That's 8 issues of Order 66 so far. Swapping back over to Hondo now. Keep that isolate on Nest, always decreasing cooldowns on Thrawn, so we always have Fracture available and that turn meter swap. Hondo has lost Order 66. There's 8 instances, I think. 8 or 9. I'm losing track now. But we're 5 minutes into the battle. This is another reason why it's good to do it on this boss node. It is a 10-minute battle, so you can drag it out nice and long. Alright, so I'm swapping back over to Hondo as he no longer has Order 66. Let's get those hits in. I think I need 2 more hits here against Hondo and we shall be golden. Getting that fracture over on Nest. There's 9 instances of Order 66 and we still have 4 minutes left on the clock. And Nest has lost it, so 3 hits against Nest with CX2 will wrap it up for us here. And that's kind of it, guys. You can obviously drag this out a little bit longer. You can actually win with this fight as well. If you just start doing stuff like life drains and that sort of thing, you will eventually get rid of Nest. But generally speaking, as long as you've got the survivability and you play this right, you can absolutely ramp this round. Now, you will need some gear on CX2 to make this work. Mine is Relic 9, you don't need Relic 9, you just need to be able to survive any sort of opening onslaught. But once it's done, all issues of Order 66 in one battle, and that's pretty sexy, right? That's pretty sexy. So I'm not going to go through all the different Empire teams that you can possibly use, because obviously Empire is a large faction, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, if you've got like Lord Vader and the new clones, use them as you progress. They're absolutely brilliant. But other teams that you can use are going to be stuff like Inquisitors with Reva, DTMG, EP Mara Jade, Vader, that sort of thing. You could even go in with Imperial Troopers, all that sort of good business. Just try and use them as you progress through the sector and you'll have no problems getting that feat done. Now, I'm going to go over to the mid-sector boss and then work on to the final sector boss. If you have Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano in your squad, you don't need me to tell you how to win. you're gonna beat the Great Mothers. It's kind of canon at this point. So, unguarded, win the battle with no tanks versus the mid-sector boss. Let's check that out. So I went for something a little bit different this time. I decided to go in with the Darth Revan team. So I took in Darth Revan, Basti, Sith Assassin, Marauder, and even HK-47. Now this isn't a clean battle by any stretch of the imagination, but Darth Revan's death mark when an enemy falls below 50% health is incredibly valuable in taking out things like Great Mothers. Have lots of Amplify Agony, anything that's going to ramp your offense to make that damage kick, and you'll be having a great time. All we need to do, trigger them below that half health, and there we go. Death mark on Great Mothers, that kind of seals the deal. Obviously, we didn't get a 3-star in this battle, but you can certainly make it work. Just trying to give you some options to deal with if that's what you need to do. Smashing. Now the end sector boss, obviously we used this, we showed an example of this on how to beat the node using that Treya team to get our Order 66, but we also have a couple more feats here. Defeat an enemy with Balin's Skull, and win with Crosshair Scarred. Now he does have to survive, which does kind of suck. It means you need to go in with some good damage output. My Crosshair is not even 7 stars, but you can still get this done, clearly. Once again, I decided to go in with a Darth Revan team, this time throwing in Malak, Nihilus, and Basti just in case. So Nihilus is there in case we can't deal with the likes of Hondo or Nest. The rest of it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm going to start off by doing the life drain over here, trying to get rid of Vandor nice and early. That does trigger the death mark on Dash Rendar, so we go ahead and try to take him out. Unfortunately, he does still survive. We just throw out some good business here and do a giant, big, sucky... Oh no, we didn't. I thought we would, but I guess we wanted to leave that. We wanted to leave the fear on the entire enemy team here. So, yep, here we go. If you do happen to have that data disc that puts locked heal immunity and armor shred after characters drop below 100% health, that would be absolutely incredible here. So I just decided to take out the rest of the team pretty quickly here, lickety split. And then it's just plain sailing. Obviously, you need to have a decent level of gear on your Crosshair. Mine, like I said, is gear 11, 6 stars, just about enough to survive a Nest damage output over there. If you have got consumables, throw them on that team to help them survive. DR does a pretty good job. If not, go ahead and take in anything that is has got that full damage output for you. So sort of your Galactic Legends and that sort of thing. Amplify Agonies and Quickenings and Ruthless Offense, Stacking Offense, Offensive Buffs. That's the sort of thing I used. So getting a kill with Balin's Skull shouldn't be too hard if you've got those Amplify Agony data discs on, which I don't think I actually have, and I've got no ramping offense here. So I'm just going in. I've obviously done it, but I forgot to record it. I was hoping that we would actually get that first hit off, but I guess not. I guess we're not that lucky. Now, this team does have rather obnoxious levels of damage output and obviously turn meter gains. Look at them. They're absolutely obnoxious. So I think what I'll do is I'll just capture Dash at the start, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my own AoE over here. We may well lose our Balin, which would really be sucky. Oh, I'm going to save this AoE right now. I want to try and get a turn off with Balin's Skull. Here we go. Big hits with Balin. How did he not defeat someone then? Right, let's see if we can call him in here. Did he really just dodge? Oh, did he really just dodge? Is he really that guy? He's really that guy. He had no health, and he's just like, you know what? You know what? I'm just going to dodge, mate. Going to dodge. And there's nothing you can do about it. There really was nothing I could do about it. So I'm trying over here to get some... Stop dodging, Dash! That's twice he's dodged twice against... Oh my god, he means me harm. He means me harm. He does not like my face. He does not like my person. He's just insisting on... Go on, counterattack and defeat him. There we go, we got the kill. Now, the good thing about getting the kill is you don't actually need to then win the battle. If you've got the kill, that's all you need, guys. All you need is the kill. So you could fail it at this point and it won't be too much of an issue, but you saw how cheeky they can be. That was so incredibly rude when he was like, yeah, I just think I'll dodge, bro. Just think I'll dodge twice. I should probably deal with Hondo first, because if I leave Hondo out there, and defeat Nest, then Hondo's going to become Super Hondo, and that could be an issue for me. Let's just keep on calling in Balin over here. I suppose we could just do this big AoE. I'm not even sure if we'll even be able to clear here, because I don't have anything to ramp my offense or anything. Oh, we've got an extra kill. We've got the extra kill, and we'll capture the enemy Hondo, and I think we should be okay at this point. Go on, take him out. Take him out. Take him out. There you go. So you can do it, Balin. The start is leery. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for Sector 5. I do apologize that these videos were super late. Hopefully it's useful to you next time you do Conquest. Terrific. See you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.